Hi, this is Carolyn, and today I'm creating my own stencil that I will draw onto YUPO paper and cut and then use to make a jelly print. So I like to make my own stencils rather than buy them so that I'm working with original artwork. And I've found that the YUPO paper, which is some kind of plasticky paper, polymer paper, lasts a really long time as a stencil. To make the repeating stencil, to make any stencil, you can just draw it onto tracing paper and trace it, but I'm making a repeating stencil, so I'm leaving on my first go the edges open and clean, and then I fold it vertically and finish the design across the seam, and now I'm doing the same thing horizontally, and I'm going to finish the drawing through the horizontal space at the top and the bottom of the composition across the seam. So that way when I put the stencils together, the shapes will match. There are lots of YouTubes online as to how to make repeating designs, so if you want more involved instructions, you can have a look for those. So I drew this with a 6B pencil, and I'm going to invert it onto my piece of YUPO paper and trace all the lines with a ballpoint pen to transfer it onto the YUPO paper. I just tape it down so that it will stay steady. As well as being immensely durable, YUPO paper doesn't have any fiber, so when you cut it, it's very soft and easy to cut. And I'm using just a utilitarian X-Acto knife that I can hold like a pen and cut a fairly intricate design. So it's a very easy way to make an intricate stencil yourself by hand that will last. Okay, let's try the print. So I'm getting out my 16-inch by 20-inch jelly plate here, and I'm using good quality paints this time because I'm hoping this will turn into a frameable print. While I am a proponent of using recycled and less expensive materials, it does depend on what you're doing. When you're creating jelly prints for collage, sure, be a bit more experimental. When you're learning, sure, use dollar store and recycled materials. But sometimes when you're trying to create an art print, it's worth it to use some better materials. This particular paint, the Winsor Newton paint I'm using here, is quite viscous and can be very opaque, which is what I'm after because the colors are vibrant and they stay vibrant, has good light fastness. And because they're so viscous, they roll very nicely into the holes in the YUPO paper stencil. So all in all, it's a great combination. Using warm analogous colors here because I know that in the second layer I will want to use cooler colors. I'm using a student grade Canson's watercolor paper, which is pressed on one side but smooth on the other. So I use the smooth side against the jelly plate. And now stroking and ironing the work to make sure that the paper makes contact with the paint evenly everywhere. I do cut some of this process out. I do this for probably 4 or 5 minutes, but it is a print. I'm not peeling the paint off the plate. I'm not trying to pick up a ghost or anything else. I'm just trying to get an even paint cover. So I'm taping it down so that I can lift the whole paper up like a page of a book and then put it back for my second layer in the same place. So you'll see this come up. It's fairly sticky to the plate. It's not lifting all the paint. I like when I pull paper up that it has a bit of tension, that it has a pull, that the paint is holding the paper. That way I know that it's really covered. And I'm just going to clean that jelly plate with a piece of newsprint very quickly. which, you know, I always also save. I don't throw it out after I've used it. It's good collage material. I'm going to put a couple of other colors on it, and the paint is still wet, so I'm just wiping it with a water wet paper towel. I use shop towels, and now we're going to put the stencil on. And you can see it has already been used because I tested it on a smaller blue print. The nice thing about the YUPO paper is that it sticks to the jelly plate. So unlike Mylar, it doesn't shift around. And I'm putting the paint directly on the stencil because I want it to be thick and variegated anyway. And this paint is going into the spaces in the YUPO paper stencil very nicely. Also, the thicker paint, this nicer paint, and putting it on this way keeps it wet. So while I'm fiddling with the stencil for the other 3 or 4 applications, the paint stays wet enough to pull a print when I'm done. So I guess this begs the question, what am I doing here with these stencils? Like, what's the point? Well, I like the definition that a stencil lends to a jelly plate print because jelly prints are inherently abstract and a little mushy, difficult to control. Secondly, I don't like using other people's designs. I want to use my own. And thirdly, jelly plates are different sizes, and sometimes I want to fill the whole jelly plate. So all those things put together put me on a quest for finding the solution to getting my own stencils. I'm making these videos just showing what I'm doing for fun, just sharing. So as I said before, I am intentionally also sharing the process and the struggle and the thinking behind working things out. Speaking of which, shout out to Art Whisperer 88. I love his videos. They're nice and slow, and I can see what he's doing, and he talks about his thinking. I find that very inspiring. Have a look at them. You can just see him doing art and talking about it. That's not a paid or arranged promotion, by the way. He'd be surprised to hear this, but his way of doing things has inspired me to share my art. I just hang an iPad over my desk and put it on while I work, and then afterwards I edit the video in iMovie and do a voiceover, which is what you're hearing now. You can try it too. I'd love to see what you do. It's very humid where I am at the moment. I'm in Ontario, and it's a warm summer day over by the Great Lakes, and it is humid, so the paint is not drying very quickly. My windows are open. I'm cutting a couple of scenes out here, otherwise the video gets too long, but you just carry on and do the same thing till your jelly plate is covered with the stencil. Okay, and then we're ready to put the first layer back down over the wet stencil. You can't let it dry. I'm not peeling or lifting. I'm actually printing that wet stenciled paint onto the first layer. And again, rubbing thoroughly to make sure I catch all the paint. So if it should happen that you're in a place where your paint dries too quickly, try this exact same thing with water-soluble oil paint. So do your first layer with acrylic, that's fine because that's a quickie. And then for the stencil, try water-soluble oil paint, and it will stay wet for you, and then you can lift it up. It also gives a nice texture, a little bit nicer actually than acrylic. So one little tip, if you are going to do it that way, don't put the paint directly on the stencil like I did. Roll it off to the side onto your brayer over a magazine or an extra jelly plate if you have one. I have done it before using real plants. You can see me working with water-soluble oil paint on other videos in which I do botanical jelly printing. Okay, so I've cut out about another 4 or 5 minutes of ironing there and letting the paint set, and here we are lifting it up. I love lifting up my jelly prints. I think this is the random reinforcement that keeps me going. You just never really know what you're going to get. This one turned out spectacularly. Great coverage. I think because there was so much paint and because it's such a humid day, you just never know. It's also a really nice stencil, this YUPO stencil. This has left a spectacular ghost, and I do play with it. I use it a few times, and I'll show you the subsequent prints at the end of this video. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you try it. Show me what you do on the Learn Gelli Plate Printing Facebook group. If you enjoyed this video, follow, give a thumbs up, and follow me on Instagram. See you next time.